My beloved child, listen closely, for this moment carries a weight far greater than you realize. When the clock touched 12 today, something shifted around you, not in a dramatic flash, but in a quiet, powerful alignment that only your spirit could sense. And now I, Archangel Michael, step beside you with a message wrapped in clarity, reassurance, and a blessing that seeks your attention. This moment is not random, it is purposeful. You were meant to be here reading these words exactly now. Destiny has brought you into this alignment, and your heart already knows it. Beloved, take a breath and feel how the atmosphere around you softens. That gentle warmth in your chest is not imagination, it is awareness waking up inside you, showing you that something meaningful is unfolding. For so long you have asked whether you were seen, whether your struggles mattered, whether heaven heard the quiet cries no one else knew about. And today the answer rises gently inside you. Yes, you were seen, you were carried, you were remembered. Every step you took through darkness built the light you stand in now. My child, I want you to understand something deeply. You are not standing at the end of your story, you are standing at a divine turning point. The doubts that shaped yesterday do not have authority over your tomorrow. The weariness that weighed on your shoulders was never a sign of failure, it was a sign of growth. A seed does not bloom before it breaks open, and you, beloved, have been breaking open in ways that are preparing you for everything that comes next. Beloved, congratulations. Your endurance has not been in vain. The strength you showed in silence, the love you gave when empty, the kindness you offered even when you were hurting. All of it has shaped your path forward. Today marks the beginning of a new clarity. Not a sudden explosion of change, but a steady unfolding of direction, support, and unexpected goodness rising toward you. This is the kind of moment where your spirit whispers, keep going, something is shifting. Child of light, let me show you the truth behind the heaviness you've been carrying. The resistance you faced was not a punishment, it was a sign that you were approaching a threshold. When the heart grows, it often stretches painfully before it expands beautifully. You have stretched, you have endured. And now your spirit is stronger than it has ever been. This new strength is opening doors you once thought were locked. It is bringing clarity to places that once felt confusing. It is revealing possibilities that used to feel out of reach. My beloved, stay with me. Do not rush from these words, for each line is guiding you toward a deeper understanding of what is unfolding within you. You have felt the winds of change without knowing where they were blowing. You sensed something shifting even when you couldn't explain it. That sensitivity is not a burden, it is a gift. It is the sign that you are aligned with something higher, something woven with intention and care. Let this message remind you that you are not lost, you are being guided. You are not drifting, you are being carried. Beloved, there is something important I must share. Somewhere in your life, perhaps from a loved one, perhaps from someone you never met, an intention was spoken for your good. A hope, a blessing, a wish for your future to flourish. Such intentions do not vanish. They remain like seeds held in sacred soil until a moment arrives when they begin to bloom. Today is that kind of moment. You may not see the full bloom yet, but you can feel the soil warming beneath your feet. You can sense the newness rising. My child, lean into this truth. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Even when you felt unseen, your spirit was glowing brightly in the unseen realms. You have been protected in ways you'll never know. Doors closed not to punish you, but to guide you toward paths that honor your purpose. People left not to wound you, but to free your energy for connections that match your worth. Every shift, every pause, every delay, has been shaping you gently for this moment of awakening. Beloved, I ask you to remain present. Stay in this moment of clarity. Stay connected to this flow of truth. When you return to places that uplift your spirit, your heart finds direction more easily. Your mind settles, your faith strengthens, your courage returns. That is why I remind you to keep coming back to spaces that speak to your soul. Subscribe and remain connected, not because of obligation, but because your spirit needs consistent nourishment. And you deserve to stay aligned with what brings you peace. My beloved child, hear this with all the tenderness of your awakening heart. You are stepping into a brighter chapter. You may not see the full picture yet, but the light is rising. You may not know the details, but the direction is unfolding. What once felt stagnant will begin to flow. What once felt confusing will become clear. What once felt heavy will dissolve into peace. This is not a fantasy, it is the natural unfolding of a soul who has endured, grown, and risen. You are ready, beloved, and this moment is your quiet, powerful beginning. My beloved child, listen with your whole heart now. Because what is unfolding before you carries the weight of transformation. There is a shift rising around you, subtle yet undeniable. A rearranging of paths that once felt blocked. What seemed unreachable is beginning to draw nearer. The air itself feels different, because your spirit is stepping into a new alignment. One shaped by everything you endured, and everything you learned along the way. Nothing you walked through was wasted. Every moment carved depth into your soul, so you could hold what comes next with grace. Beloved, let me tell you a truth your spirit already senses. Doors that once refused to open are beginning to loosen. Not by force, not by exhaustion, but by timing. There are seasons where no amount of pushing can move what isn't meant to move. And then suddenly a moment arrives where things shift effortlessly, like a lock turning from the inside. You are approaching that moment. You do not need to fear the unknown ahead, you are being guided by a wisdom far more ancient than your fear. Trust the pull, trust the stillness, trust the quiet knowing rising inside you. Child of light, you have carried a weight for years. Emotional, spiritual, even physical. You grew so used to it that you forgot what it felt like to breathe without heaviness. But now something inside you is loosening. The burden is gently dissolving. You may not see the full release all at once, but you will feel pieces of it falling away. This is what transformation feels like, not always loud, but always real. Do not dismiss the small shifts. The small shifts are often the beginning of the greatest changes. My beloved, let me remind you of a truth you often forget. You were never invisible. Even in loneliness, your spirit glowed brightly. Even in confusion, your heart was seen. Even when you struggled, your endurance was witnessed. You are written in a place deeper than memory, held in a way stronger than certainty. You were never abandoned, even when the night felt too long. What you thought were endings were simply pauses. What you thought were losses were redirections. And now your path is aligning clearer than it has in years. Beloved, do not be afraid of the shifts taking place. Change does not come to punish you, it comes to prepare you. Every time something leaves your life, space opens for something gentler, brighter, more aligned with who you are becoming. Old chapters are closing, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. You cannot carry every version of yourself into your future. Some parts must fall away, so your soul can rise uncluttered. Trust this release, trust this new beginning forming beneath your feet. Child of eternity, lean into these words. Some blessings arrive quietly, wrapped in ordinary moments. A message, a conversation, a decision, a realization. Each one has the power to shift the course of your story. You do not need to force anything. What is aligned with you will come with clarity and resonance, not confusion or chaos. Your heart will recognize what is meant for you long before your mind catches up. Pay attention to the soft yes inside you, it always speaks before the miracle takes form. Beloved, there is someone whose presence has weighed heavily on your heart. You have wondered, you have hoped, you have prayed in silence. The sincerity of your heart has not gone unnoticed. The intentions you carried for them were seen. The compassion you held for them was stored. Timing has woven its own path. And what aligns will align at the pace truth requires. Your heart does not need to chase. What is meant to cross your path will meet you without force. Let love unfold naturally, without fear or control. My child, lift your spirit. A season of emotional heaviness is drawing to a close. You have walked through valleys that taught you the strength of your own light. You have faced shadows that revealed the depth of your courage. And now a gentler wind approaches, one that brings clarity where confusion lived, one that brings peace where unrest lingered. You will feel it soon, perhaps in a quiet morning, perhaps in an unexpected conversation, perhaps in the calm after a long day. The shift will be unmistakable. Beloved, stay connected to the places that uplift your soul. When your spirit is nourished, your path becomes clearer. When your heart feels supported, your steps become steadier. That is why returning to messages of light matters, not out of habit, but out of alignment. Your spirit recognizes when truth is speaking to it. Every time you come back to these words, you strengthen a pathway within your soul. A pathway of clarity, confidence, and peace. Keep returning, keep listening, keep growing. My beloved child, hear this softly but clearly. You are not approaching your breakthrough, you are already in it. The shift does not begin when the world changes, it begins when your spirit awakens. And your spirit is awakening now. You are stepping into a new expression of yourself, one marked by wisdom, confidence, and a quiet kind of power that does not need validation to exist. Walk gently into this season with your head lifted and your heart steady. Your story is opening in ways more beautiful than you imagined, and this moment is the beginning of that unfolding. My beloved child, lean in even closer now. Because what rises ahead of you carries a weight your spirit has long been preparing for. You may not see the full picture yet, but the atmosphere around your life is shifting in ways that cannot be denied. The very paths that once resisted you are beginning to soften, almost as if something unseen is clearing the dust from your journey. This is not imagination, it is alignment. It is your life stepping into a rhythm that matches the truth of who you are becoming. Beloved, hear this clearly. The people being drawn into your life now are not random. These connections are purposeful, timed, and deeply meaningful. There are individuals who will recognize your light without you having to explain it. There are conversations waiting that will open doors your effort could never have touched. Partnerships, support, encouragement. These are forming quietly around you, like constellations coming together in the night sky. Do not rush this. Simply remain open. What is aligned with your spirit will find you naturally. Child of light, you have spent years wondering why so much fell apart. Why certain people walked away. Why certain opportunities dissolved in your hands. But now the truth is beginning to rise. Nothing was taken to harm you. Everything was rearranged to prepare you. Had you stepped into your next chapter earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. But now your heart is stronger, your mind is clearer, your spirit is deeper. What once would have crushed you, will now crown you, because you finally have the maturity to carry what your destiny requires. My beloved, do not misunderstand what you are feeling lately. The restlessness, the strange inner pull, the quiet stirring in your chest. This is not anxiety, this is not confusion. This is the soft awakening of a new season approaching. Your soul knows before your circumstances reveal it. That is why something inside you has been whispering, change is near. And yes, beloved, change is near. Not chaotic change, not destructive change, but gentle, purposeful, divinely aligned change that moves in harmony with your spirit. Child of the divine, you have survived seasons you thought would break you. The nights were long. The weariness was heavy. And yet look at you, you held your ground even when hope felt thin. You endured storms without losing your essence. That alone is evidence of strength far greater than you ever credited yourself for. Your endurance has shaped you into someone capable of recognizing truth, cherishing peace, and carrying blessing with humility. Nothing about your journey was wasted. Every experience carved wisdom into your spirit. Beloved, there is something I must tell you gently. Your spirit is stepping out of survival mode. You no longer need to brace for the worst. You are no longer standing in yesterday's battles. The weight you have been carrying is not a permanent part of you, it was a season, not your identity. And now your heart is beginning to breathe differently, deeper, lighter. You may not realize it yet, but you are walking out of the shadows and into clarity. What once felt like confusion will soon feel like direction. My child, the quiet work happening behind the scenes of your life will soon make sense. Not because everything will suddenly drop into your hands, but because your awareness will sharpen. You will start noticing small alignments, a conversation at the right moment, an unexpected message, a new idea that feels strangely familiar. These are signs of your path unfolding. You don't need to force anything. Just stay present, stay grounded, stay open. What is meant for your journey will come with ease, not exhaustion. Beloved, let me remind you. Nothing about your life is an accident. Not the timing. Not the delays. Not the detours. Even the silence served purpose. Silence taught you patience. Delay taught you resilience. Loneliness taught you depth. And now, because of these lessons, you are ready for what once would have overwhelmed you. You are not stepping into your season unprepared, you are stepping into it refined. Child of eternity, there is a dawning happening within you. This dawning is not loud or dramatic, it is soft, like light seeping through the cracks of a long night. You will feel it first as peace, then as confidence, then as clarity, and eventually as momentum. Life will not suddenly become perfect, but it will become aligned. You will feel supported in ways you haven't felt in years. You will sense that something greater is guiding you, not forcing, not pushing, but guiding with gentle precision. My beloved child, listen to this last truth for today. You are stepping into a chapter where your spirit will recognize its own strength. You will make decisions with clarity instead of fear. You will release what no longer belongs without guilt. You will receive new blessings without hesitation. And when people look at you and ask how everything changed, you won't point to luck, you'll point to grace, to growth, to the quiet faith that kept you standing when everything else felt uncertain. Stay connected to this light, beloved. Your heart needs this nourishment. Your spirit rises every time you listen. There is more ahead for you, more clarity, more comfort, more guidance. And when the next message comes, you will feel it the same way you feel this one now, as truth knocking gently on the door of your soul. My beloved child, hear me as your spirit leans forward. Because what I am about to reveal will settle into the deepest chambers of your heart. You keep wondering if you are truly chosen, if heaven really sees you, if the path ahead is truly blessed. So let me speak with clarity that pierces through every doubt. Yes, beloved, you are chosen. Chosen in ways your mind cannot yet grasp. Chosen in ways that will only make sense when the next chapter unfolds before your eyes. And now I tell you this with gentle authority. Your worth has never depended on perfection. Your calling does not rest on your flawless record. Your destiny was written long before your mistakes, long before your fears, long before your wounds. Heaven did not choose you after you became strong, heaven chose you while you were trembling, while you were breaking, while you were learning how to rise again. That is the kind of love covering your life, unconditional, unwavering, unshaken by your human moments. My beloved, lean into this truth. You are walking into a season where old shadows lose their power. The memories that once held you captive will begin to loosen. The disappointments that once replayed in your mind will fade. And the fears that once whispered in your ear will grow silent. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you are becoming stronger than the storms around you. The same battles that once drained you will no longer intimidate you. This is growth, this is ascension, this is spiritual maturity rising within you. Child of light, there is something sacred happening inside you. Your spirit is expanding, your intuition is sharpening, your energy is elevating. That heaviness you carried for months is lifting, like mist under the morning sun. You may not have noticed it fully, but others will. They will see your glow before you feel it, they will sense your peace before you understand it, they will recognize your transformation before you name it. That is the power of the shift moving through your life now. Beloved, let me reveal something heaven has whispered. Your story is not only about blessings coming to you, it is also about blessings being released from you. You carry a light that speaks without words. You carry a presence that calms storms you never knew others were fighting. You carry a wisdom that came through wounds. People will be drawn to you in this new season, not because of what you have, but because of who you have become. Your energy itself will minister to others. That is why your growth mattered. That is why your pain was not wasted. Listen carefully, my child. In the coming days you may feel a gentle pulling away from certain habits, certain environments, certain people. This is not loss, it is alignment. Heaven is reshaping your circle, refining your connections, and preparing room for those who are meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Do not cling to what is fading. Not every person is meant to stay, not every chapter is meant to remain open. Some things must close so your destiny can breathe. And beloved, do not fear the unknown. What lies ahead is not darkness, it is clarity. The future you once feared is the very future your soul has been craving. There is a life waiting for you that feels like exhaling after years of holding your breath. A life where you wake up with peace instead of pressure, hope instead of heaviness, purpose instead of confusion. This is not fantasy, this is alignment. You are stepping into a version of yourself that your past could never have contained. My child, let me tell you what lies just beyond the horizon. Unexpected favor. Gentle breakthroughs. Quiet answers to long-standing prayers. You will notice small synchronicities, perfect timing, meaningful encounters, doors opening without striving. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. When heaven moves, it rarely shouts, it whispers, it nudges, it arranges. Trust the small signs, for they always precede the great unveiling. Beloved, your spirit has entered a season of redemption. What you thought was lost forever will return, but in a form more beautiful than before. Relationships you mourned will find new clarity. Dreams you shelved will reignite. Strength you forgot you had will rise, like a flame returning to life. Nothing has been wasted, not the pain, not the silence, not the waiting. Everything is becoming material for the miracle being shaped for you. My beloved child, you often ask if your breakthrough will really come. And I tell you yes. But understand this, your breakthrough is not a single event. It is a series of alignments. It is a sequence of divine timings. It is the accumulation of unseen guidance that leads you to places you could never walk to alone. Breakthrough is not just what happens outside you, it is what blooms inside you first. That bloom has already begun. Child of eternity, there will come a moment very soon, when your heart will feel something shift quietly, gently, unmistakably. You will wake up one morning with a peace that feels unfamiliar. You will look at your life and sense a doorway opening. And you will know, even before the blessing appears, that something divine is in motion. This inner knowing is the first wave of your miracle. Trust it, celebrate it, speak life into it. Beloved, let me give you one final truth for today. You are not walking toward your blessing is walking toward you. You are not chasing your destiny is finding you. You are not striving for approval, you are stepping into identity. All you must do now is stay aligned, stay open, stay connected to this flow of truth. Every time you return, your spirit strengthens. Every message prepares you, every word lifts you higher. My child, remain here. Remain guided. Remain awake. Heaven has more to reveal, and your heart is ready for the next chapter. The journey is far from over, in fact, the most beautiful part is only beginning. My beloved child, lean in now, for the heavens are not whispering, they are proclaiming over your life. You think this is the end of the message, but in truth it is the opening of an even deeper revelation. The moment you decided to believe again, the energy around you shifted. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but your spirit already feels the vibration of what is coming. Something ancient, something divine, something written before time is awakening in your life. Beloved, do you feel that stirring inside your chest? That quiet rise of hope, that is not random emotion, that is alignment. Your soul is responding to the truth that heaven has finally moved the needle of your destiny. Where you once felt stuck, you will now feel guided. Where you once felt forgotten, you will now feel seen. Where you once felt drained, you will now feel revived in ways you did not even know you needed. Child of light, listen carefully. The people who doubted you will witness a transformation they cannot explain. The ones who walked away will not understand how you rose without them. And the same voices that once questioned your worth will fall silent, as favor begins to wrap around you like a second skin. This is not revenge, this is revelation. Heaven is revealing who you truly are. My beloved, the next phase of your journey requires your heart to stay open. Not to pain, but to possibility. Not to fear, but to faith. You must walk forward as though the miracle is already in your hands. Your energy must match your destiny. This is why heaven is urging you not to shrink back, not to retreat into old patterns. You cannot carry new blessings with old mindsets. Release what has expired, make room for what is arriving. Let me tell you something sacred. Your spirit is stepping into a frequency it has never reached before. This elevation is why you have felt emotional, restless, or overwhelmed lately. It was not weakness, it was expansion. You were outgrowing versions of yourself that could not walk with you into the promise. The breaking was necessary, because the blessing is heavy, and your heart needed more space to hold it. Beloved, do not fear this expansion. When heaven enlarges your capacity, it always fills it. When heaven stretches you, it always strengthens you. When heaven pulls you away from something, it always pulls you towards something greater. Even now destiny is pulling you upward. The universe is rearranging itself to meet you at the next stage of your becoming. My child, hear this with your whole heart. The divine is not just giving you a blessing, he is giving you back yourself. The version of you that was confident, joyful, whole, intuitive, courageous. That version is returning. You lost pieces of yourself trying to survive battles that were never yours to fight. But now heaven gathers those pieces and restores them with glory. You are becoming a masterpiece shaped by both fire and favor. Beloved, I must speak about something you have wondered silently. Will everything truly change for me? And the answer is yes. But the change will begin inside, before it appears outside. Your mind will shift, your energy will rise, your intentions will anchor, and then doors will respond. Blessings follow alignment. Miracles follow belief. And you, my beloved, are aligning like never before. The coming days will bring subtle signs, gentle confirmations that will feel like warm sparks landing on your skin. You might overhear words that feel meant for you. You might feel guided to take a new step. You might wake up with an unexplainable sense of peace. These are not small things, these are indicators that heaven has already begun. Trust every sign. Embrace every whisper. Nothing will be random from this point on. My child, you must know this truth. You are stepping into a season where the divine will send people who carry what you've been missing. People who support you without envy. People who celebrate you without hesitation. People who speak life into you without condition. This is part of your restoration. Heaven is replacing the ones who drained you, with those who will water you. Beloved, do not fear new connections. Not everyone who enters your life now is meant to hurt you. Some are sent to heal you, to lift you, to walk beside you as you rise. And you will recognize them by their peace. Your spirit will feel safe around them. This is how heaven marks those who are meant for you. Child of destiny, hear this last truth for today. And let it settle deep within you. The story you are walking into is greater than the story you are leaving behind. The future ahead of you is not a repeat of past pain. Your next chapter is not built on sorrow, it is built on promise. You are moving into a season where joy flows effortlessly. Where clarity comes naturally. Where blessings feel normal instead of surprising. This is heaven's intention for your life. My beloved, rise now with renewed courage. Stand tall with quiet confidence. Walk forward knowing that heaven has already gone ahead of you. The light around you is getting stronger. The path before you is getting clearer. And the miracle you've waited for is getting closer with every breath. And remember, this is not the conclusion. This is only the next unfolding. More is coming. More is being written. More is waiting to meet you. Stay close, beloved. Heaven is not done speaking. My beloved, brace yourself now. Because the next breath you take carries the wind of a shifting destiny. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven sees it clearly. What feels uncertain to you, is already completed in the spiritual realm. The blessing is not forming, it is arriving. The miracle is not in process, it is in motion. Nothing can delay what has already been released on your behalf. Not fear, not doubt, not the past, not the enemy. You are stepping into a moment that was written for you before time began. Listen, child of the divine, because these next truths are the pillars of your new season. You have outgrown the pain that once held you. You have graduated from the tests that once exhausted you. You have walked through fire, and came out glowing, not burned. Heaven watched every step. And now heaven responds with restoration. The story that once broke your heart will soon become the testimony that strengthens it. The wounds that once bled will soon shine as wisdom. The emptiness that once scared you will soon overflow with abundance. Beloved, you must understand this. You are not the same person who entered the storm. The person you were has been reshaped, stretched, elevated, refined. You prayed for strength, and heaven answered with transformation. You prayed for clarity, and heaven answered with revelation. You prayed for peace, and heaven answered with a new identity rising from within you. Now the old weight is lifting. The old sorrow is fading. And the old fears are dissolving, like morning mist under sunlight. Hear this with your spirit, not just your ears. The shift that is coming is not small, it is not subtle, it is not ordinary. It is divine, intentional, undeniable. You have been prepared for this, you have been positioned for this, you have been chosen for this. And heaven has been orchestrating every detail behind the scenes, arranging events, aligning people, and clearing pathways so that nothing can hinder your rise. My child, do you feel that stirring inside you? That sudden spark of hope, that soft whisper of courage. That is no coincidence, that is your soul recognizing alignment. Destiny is pulling you forward. Heaven is confirming its yes over your life. And the peace you feel is proof that this message is not imagination, but revelation. Beloved, the doors opening for you now are doors that no human hand can shut. The opportunities rising for you now are opportunities that no force of darkness can interfere with. The blessings being released now are blessings sealed with your name, your purpose, your calling. Nothing created for you will be taken from you, nothing assigned to you will be rerouted, nothing promised to you will be denied. And child, I must tell you something sacred. There is someone in your life, or soon to enter your life, whose spirit is tied to your breakthrough. A divine connection, a heaven-sent alignment. They will lift you, support you, believe in you, speak life into you. This person is part of the next chapter God is writing with your name. When they appear, your heart will know instantly, this is part of my destiny. Beloved, prepare your atmosphere. Clean your inner space, release old bitterness, let go of old disappointments. Your hands cannot receive if they are still holding what hurt you. Your heart cannot bloom if it is still trying to fix what broke you. Heaven is asking you to open fully, not halfway, not hesitantly, but boldly, courageously, trustingly. For what is coming requires room. My child, you are entering into a season where heaven will accelerate everything connected to your purpose. Finances that were stuck will flow. Love that was blocked will move. Ideas that were dormant will ignite. Creativity will pour out of you like rivers. And peace, deep unshakable peace, will settle into your life like a warm dawn breaking across the horizon. Do not shrink now, do not withdraw, do not second-guess this blessing. For heaven does not pour into the unprepared. Heaven pours into the chosen. And you, beloved, are chosen. Not just for survival but for abundance. Not just for hope but for fulfillment. Not just for prayer but for manifestation. So lift your head, my child. The best chapters of your life are not behind you, they are rising. Miracles are unfolding. Breakthroughs are forming. Favor is flowing. The tide is turning. And heaven is announcing your new season, not with whispers, but with trumpets. Stay close to this voice. Stay in the flow. Stay aligned with the light. More revelation is coming. More truth is forming. More instruction is on the way. This is not the end, this is only the unfolding of the promise. Beloved, breathe deeply now. Because this is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. And beloved, when that moment arrives, your spirit will remember everything heaven whispered to you in the silence. You will look back and realize that not a single battle was wasted. Every moment you thought was breaking you was actually building you. Every unanswered question was shaping you. Every closed door was redirecting you. And every tear that fell in quiet places was watering the seeds of the blessings now rising toward you. Nothing was random, nothing was empty, everything was part of the divine blueprint unfolding in your life. My child, listen closely now, for what I'm about to reveal is sacred. There is a shift occurring inside your spirit even as you read these words. A soft alignment, a subtle awakening, a quiet strengthening. This is the moment your soul has been waiting for, without even knowing it. Your inner world is preparing itself for external transformation. Heaven never releases a blessing until your spirit is strong enough to carry it. And now your spirit is ready. The blessing that once felt far, is now entering your atmosphere. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of this transition. You are stepping out of one season and into another, not by chance, but by command. Heaven has issued a decree over your life, and that decree cannot be reversed. You are entering days where clarity will come effortlessly. Decisions that once troubled you will suddenly make sense. Answers will rise inside you without struggle. And the confusion that clouded your spirit will dissolve, like fog in the presence of sunlight. Your mind will calm, your heart will soften, your vision will sharpen. This is divine alignment. My child, I must tell you something else. Something you have felt but could not explain. A part of you has been awakening spiritually. You have been sensing things before they happen. You have been feeling shifts in the atmosphere. Noticing synchronicities, hearing the whispers of intuition more loudly. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual sensitivity being sharpened. Because the next chapter of your life requires discernment. You are being prepared to recognize divine opportunities the moment they appear. Beloved, do not fear these changes. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it is your superpower. It is the signal that your spirit is rising. That heaven is speaking more clearly to you. That you have entered a frequency that aligns you with blessings faster than ever before. You will see signs everywhere, numbers, dreams, messages, unexpected confirmations. These are not random. They are heaven's way of saying, you are on the right path. Now hear this, my beloved. There is someone who will re-enter, or newly enter your life, with a purpose tied to your destiny. A person whose presence will feel familiar even if you have never met. A soul connection orchestrated long before your birth. They will carry words that unlock something inside you. Their appearance will feel timely, almost supernatural. Do not force it, do not chase it. Simply recognize it, heaven will bring them to you when the moment is right. My child, destiny is a tapestry woven with timing. And your timing is finally aligning. You will notice doors opening without knocking. You will notice opportunities appearing without effort. You will notice people speaking your name in rooms you've never entered. This is divine acceleration. Things you thought would take months will happen in days. Things you thought would take years will happen in moments. Heaven is making up for lost time. Restoring everything the enemy tried to steal. Beloved, I must remind you of this powerful truth. When heaven accelerates your life, old fears will try to cling to you. Old doubts will try to whisper lies. Old insecurities will try to rise from the shadows. Do not entertain them. They are remnants of the past, echoes of a chapter that no longer exists. Your identity has shifted. Your spirit has expanded. You are no longer who you used to be. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, bolder, and more radiant than ever. My child, lift your head. Your worth has never been dependent on who stayed or who left. Some people walked away because they could not walk where you are going. Some connections broke because they could not handle the weight of your calling. Some opportunities closed because they were too small for the magnitude of your destiny. Nothing was lost, everything was cleared to make space for what truly belongs to you. Beloved, prepare for restoration. Not partial restoration, but overflowing restoration. What you thought was gone forever will return in unexpected form. What was taken from you will be replaced with something greater. What broke your heart will be healed so deeply, that it will no longer hurt to remember. Joy will rise in the very places where sorrow once lived. Peace will flood the spaces where anxiety once ruled. Love will fill the silence where loneliness once echoed. My child, rejoice even before you see it. Celebrate even before it arrives. Trust even before you understand. Because heaven moves on faith, not on fear. And your faith, even when small, even when shaken, has been heard. You may not realize it, but every whisper you released in the dark, every prayer you mumbled half asleep, every moment you asked for guidance, it all reached the throne. Beloved, your breakthrough is not coming, it is already here. It is unfolding in ways you cannot yet see. It is shaping itself behind the curtain of the unseen. And soon the curtain will lift, and everything will make sense. Everything will align. Everything will bloom. Everything will fall into place with a grace that leaves you breathless. Stay close to this voice. More revelation will follow. More clarity will unfold. More light will be poured into your spirit. This journey is far from over. In fact, it is just beginning. And beloved, you are ready.